All right, good morning. Saturday, July the 17th, and just coming up to 7 a.m. And we're on a bit of a road trip today. We're going to Waterford, Ontario to help a buddy of mine, Fid, with his 1969 TR6. Fid's had a bit of an unfortunate incident with his previously Concourse TR6. He's had an engine fire a few years ago now, so we're going to try to start the restoration process. I think he started already. Trying to clean up the engine bay a little bit. The fire was pretty much confined, I think, to the engine bay, but we're going to go and try and help him pull the engine and trans out today and clean things up a bit more. Got another buddy of mine, Ian, going as well, so we'll see you when we get to Waterford. Funny that the first song that comes on is Whole Lot of Rosie by AC/DC. And of course, that's the name of the car that I'm going to work on, Rosie. All right, we made it to Waterford, and I'm allowed to video. So here's my co-stars for today's video. We've got Ian here, former TR6 owner, and Fid. And this is Rosie, the aforementioned Rosie, coming down on the lift. We're spoiled today. We have a lift. So we'll have a better look at her once she's down. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, Fid's removed the first crispy part from here. It's actually better than what I thought it was going to be honest with you. So this happened, what, we were saying 3 years ago?
It's 3 years ago now, yeah.
And we think, you think it was an electrical fire initially and then transformed into a full-blown fire, which then melted a fuel line?
I'm pretty sure it was on the ignition side of the thing.
Right.
Because it kind of made a fizzing sound and then brown smoke came out.
Right.
And the battery at the end of it was this high. It was this high.
And it's obviously melted a lot of the components, anything rubber basically. So we're just taking a look at, clutch master line, wiring harness, speedo tack cables. Although some of the stuff survives surprisingly, like the boots for the bellows on the steering rack have survived, so that's kind of surprising. So obviously it looks like the fire was contained pretty much mostly towards the back here and the bulkhead, which is good. So not a lot of damage towards the front, although I think you said there was probably quite a bit of damage done by the fire guys.
Well, they did all of this.
Trying to pry the hood open, right? Because they didn't realize that the hood opened the opposite way.
They were trying to pry it up at the front. Yeah.
And I know Fid was saying that he tried to get the bonnet up, but he had the safety catch on, and you can't reach under when there are flames coming out to get your hand under there. So that was one of the issues. Yeah, you don't want to burn your hands
I was trying to squirt my fire extinguisher in the gap, and it just wasn't doing it.
So here's where we're at then. So I guess the objective for today is to pull the engine out. We're going to pull the gearbox out, which means we'll have to get the trans tunnel out. So we have the lift, so we'll be able to do a little bit of work underneath, which is good. And Fid's got most of the components off already, so we'll move the rack out a little bit and maybe take a few more little ancillary items off. And other than that, we're in pretty good shape, I would think. So we'll get to work. We'll stop talking and start working, right? Fid's going to do most of the work today. Ian and I are pretty much supervising, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Ian has started working on removing the seats so we can remove the trans tunnel. It's probably possible that we could probably do it underneath, but it's just easier to get the trans tunnel out anyway. I'm working on just removing the steering shaft so we can move the steering rack forward. I'm going to take the shaft right out. We'll replace that rubber coupler at some point. So we're just working on that, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, Ian's making good headway in here. Got the seats out, got the center dash support out. It's a little dark in there. So he's working on the prop shaft to tail of the transmission bolts, which are pretty darn tight, which is good, but they're just a bit of a bear to get out. So what else did we do? Just that steering shaft has been removed, and that's it for now. We're making pretty good progress. Yeah, he's making some weird sounds here. So a couple hours into it, and I think we're pretty close. We're just undoing the trans bolts on the interior. We've got the ground strap disconnected here. We got the exhaust manifold and the exhaust pipe off. So we've got the prop shaft disconnected. I think we're pretty much ready to go. So I've never done one with the car on a hoist before. So we're just talking about how we're going to do that. I'm going to have to lift the hoist up to be able to get the legs of the engine hoist underneath. And I've got my Oberg tilt lift with me, so we should be okay. We have lots of height for the lift. We won't be knocking any lights off the ceiling, which is a good thing. So we'll try to get that on film once we get there. It might be a little bit of trial and error involved, but we'll get her done. So we're trying to do this with the starter still in, but the problem is that the pipe or the flange, the flange is just fouling with the nose of the starter. So we're going to try to move either the starter or the exhaust front down pipe. So take care of that first before we can move the engine up any higher. All right, engine and gearbox are out. We kind of did it the hard way. Again, we probably could have put the boom out one more or shortened the chain. That would have been helpful. As I'd mentioned, we thought we might have a bit of an issue with lift of the boom because the actual 4-post lift had to be up to be able to get the legs of the lift under. So anyway, we ended up letting the air out of the tires, and that just left us a little bit short of getting over this front valance. So we were then thinking about jacking up the rear of the car, but that's not really practical on this 4-post lift, so we gave up on that. So we went with plan C, which was to drop the oil pan to give us enough clearance to get over that front valance, and that worked okay. We just put the oil pan back on temporarily. We made a little bit of a mess, but not bad, really, realistically.
That's what epoxy's for.
That's what epoxy's for.
Wipes up.
So safely on the ground and on a rolling stand. And we'll get this blocked up a little bit so it's a little bit more safe. But engine's out, so job's done for now. It's going to be lunchtime, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do next.
Well done, guys. Well done.
All right.
First time this garage mahal's been used for anything dirty. Come on, lucky little bugger.
So this is why we brought Ian.
I guess in the positions other people don't.
Right. So he's the windscreen specialist, the windscreen bracket specialist. So that's the next job that we need to do, is get the windscreen off. So we're just playing around with the brackets. We're playing around with the brackets.
I'm holding the door.
He's holding the door. I'm keeping this door shut over here. And Ian's doing the bulk of the work getting the brackets.
And cursing on our
and cursing. So, you got to be careful though, because my mom watches.
Sorry,
So
Mom.
no cursing. All right, windscreen is now off, and it wasn't too much of a struggle. The posts were actually pretty. Well, we're not going to admit that FID forgot to remind us to take the 3 bolts out of the ones that hold it to the actual dash.
You mean these 3 bolts that hold the tonneau cover on?
Those 3, yes, those 3.
Don't lose
After we took those out, and they're all blaming me because I just did this on my car. Anyway, it came out okay. The posts, as mentioned, are pretty rust-free. So
It's our fault. We didn't watch your video.
that's right. So they came out of the clamps well. So the only thing that we can't get off is that one windscreen wiper is proving to be a bit of a problem, but we have a reciprocating saw. We'll just cut that right off at the post. And so that's off. So that's good. We're happy. No damage. On to the next thing. All right, guys, just coming up to 5 p.m. back in the Taj Mahal, and had a good day today with Fid and Ian and Rosie, the 69 TR6. So now Fid's next step is to send the body chassis out to a body and paint shop for them to do their magic on the engine bay. You didn't see the bonnet, and I actually didn't see the bonnet, but I understand that Fid's in the market for a new bonnet, as I think the firemen, when they came to try to get the bonnet open, I believe they were prying on the bonnet from this end of the car versus this end of the car and did some damage to the bonnet. Plus the fire damaged the bonnet fairly extensively as well. So he's in the market for a new bonnet, and that will have to be painted. As far as the exterior panels are concerned, I think he might be able to get by with what he's got on the car. There was a few little nicks and chips again along the tops of the fenders, but they may be able to fix those and just brush some paint in there. Not brush some, but blow some paint in there. So obviously most of the damage was confined to the engine bay, and I'm sure the paint and body shop will be able to fix that up and make her look 100% again. Anyway, we'll hopefully maybe come back with another video in the future once Fid gets the car back from the body shop. Maybe Ian and I will make another trip there, and we will put the engine and trans back in and all of the ancillaries back in the engine bay. And we'll get her looking back to the state that she was looking in before. So we look forward to that in the future. All right, that's it for now, guys. We'll wrap it up here, and we'll get back out here working on the TR250 tomorrow.